Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me for Building Relationships to Enhance Your Social Impact Business. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to the Colorado Institute for Social Impact for having me and allowing me to teach this class. And for you guys for attending, for taking this course online means that you want to learn more about what it means to be a social impact business owner or to be a part of a social impact business. So I'm excited to dive in today and talk about one of my favorite topics, building relationships. Relationships are key to your business in general, but especially to social impact business. So that's what we'll be talking about today. Just want to take a few minutes to introduce myself. My name is Laura Early. This is my husband in the photo. We currently live in Washington, D.C. Before that, we were stationed in Colorado Springs, where I had the privilege to teach live at the Institute. We're a military family, which has so much to do with my business and why I started my business as an entrepreneur. So I'm excited to share that experience with you and what it's done for me. So my company is Wise Advise and Assist Team. I serve as the deputy director and co-founder. Wise is a virtual assisting agency powered by military spouses. So we help small business owners grow by providing expert outsourcing services. The social impact of our business is that we employ military spouses. Military spouses face an unemployment rate of 26%, which is 4 times the national average. So it's really important for us to provide meaningful, flexible, remote careers for the military. So that's what we do, and that's how my story kind of got me here to sharing about social impact. So the summary of what we're going to talk about today is relationships. Good relationships are the key to any business model, but having people that become brand ambassadors might be more important for your social impact business. So we're going to talk about how to develop and how to determine which relationships are the right fit, where to find them, and how to communicate your social impact strategy to convert them into supporters. So why are relationships important to your social impact business? First of all, they increase awareness. We all want more people out there to know about our companies, because if more people know about them, more people are going to shop with us. They're going to choose us for our services. So you always want to increase awareness. Another thing that it does is it validates your mission. When you have people championing your cause, talking about your business, sharing your business with other people, becoming affiliates, it validates what you're doing. It shows that it's important, and it gives you that validation of, hey, we're actually doing the right thing here within this company. So it's really important to have that validation. That validation is also important in the market when you're trying to attract funding, donors. You want to make sure that you have these stories of how your mission is impactful. So with all of that combined together, relationships propel your business forward. They continue to share your story. It continues to increase your customer base. Relationships are the key to everything that you do in your business. So I believe that there are 6 types of relationships that you need to be pursuing in your business. Those are advocates, champions, mentors, affiliates, partners, and team members. And we'll talk a little bit about each one and why they're important. So an advocate is someone who is a supporter of your business. They like to share about your business. Whenever they meet someone who might align with you, they're going to talk to them about what you do, but they don't have any official position within your company, and they don't have an official relationship with you. So not a partnership, no MOU, they don't have an official relationship. A champion, those are people who just love what you are about. They are sharing about you on Instagram. They love talking about your cause. They just buy into your mission. They buy what you're selling, and they talk about it all the time. They're more like your cheerleaders. Those are the people that when you need something shared on social media, they're going to do it. When you need someone to show up for something, they're going to be there. But again, no official relationship with your business. Some of these intersect, so sometimes mentors can be champions, affiliates can also be champions. So champions can have multiple facets within your business, but again, these are people who just want to sing your praises. They love what you do. Mentors, so important within your business. These are the people who are going to give you advice, who are going to give you time and wisdom, who have gone before you, who've done it before, and want to be able to give back to you and train you and help you make an impact in your business. So mentors look like a variety of different people. It can be an official mentor relationship. It could be your board of advisors if you're a nonprofit. A mentor could also just be someone in the community that is a friend of yours that you meet with and talk and share business ideas. But But mentors are important because you want to have someone who's going to give you the honest truth about what's going on within your business. They're going to hold you accountable to what you're doing and make sure that you're pursuing your goals. So you always want to have mentors in your corner. The next one is affiliates, and this is another official relationship. A mentor is more like an official relationship. You have an agreement with someone that you're going to meet regularly. And affiliates the same way. They get some sort of kickback or payment for promoting your business. So this could be someone that you give free product to. It could be someone where you discount services or hours to. It could be like a traditional affiliate program where they get a percentage of something that they sell. So this is someone who is almost paid to promote your business. There's an official relationship, there's an agreement there, and they have agreed to share about what you're doing. Partners. Partners can be companies, they can be individuals. These are companies and people that join forces with you to promote your mission. They could be people that maybe you decide you're going to do social sharing with them, maybe you're going to work on a specific project together, but you have some sort of official partnership agreement. You guys have agreed to do things for one another that are going to benefit each other's companies or personal businesses. So partners are great, especially when you're going into specific projects or starting work in a new arena that you haven't done it before. And then team members. We all need team members. These are the people that we pay to work with us to support the mission of our company, who are helping us in day-to-day operations, and who are making sure that we accomplish the goals every day on the ground for our business. And again, team members can be champions. They should be champions for your business. They should believe in your cause, especially if you're a social impact business. So some of those intersect. So we'll go into a little bit more of how to find these people, where they are, and I hope as we've been talking through this, you already have an idea of where certain people fit into each category. So how do you decide which category people are in? You do this by asking yourself a series of questions. How did you meet them? Did you introduce yourself to them? Did you meet them at a networking event? Did you meet them online? Did you meet them in school? Have you been friends with them for a long time? Have you not? How you meet someone determines a little bit of what type of relationship they're going to be for your company, especially if they have sought you out instead of vice versa. So you want to be thinking about how you first met them. What was that encounter like? Are you friends, acquaintances, or strangers? Again, what is the status of your relationship? Do you have a relationship outside of your business? Do you guys get coffee together? Is it just someone who only knows you through your business? Is it someone you met one time, 2 times? All of these play into where they're going to be in your company. How long have they known about your business? This is super duper important. We talk about this a lot, where we want to pull people in to be team members, or maybe we want to pull people in to be champions for our businesses, but they don't actually know a whole lot about our business. They heard that you're like Tom Shoes, you sell shoes, you give shoes to people in need. They love that. They want to be a part of it, but they've only known your business for 5 seconds. Probably not someone that you're going to start a partnership with. You're not going to have an official relationship with them because you don't know them really well. But they're going to be a great advocate for you. They're going to share your mission, but maybe not someone that you want to be partnering with. You want to gauge their interest. This is really important. Unfortunately, we live in a society where people's intent is not always pure and honest. So you need to figure out, did they want to be a part of what you're doing because of the mission? Or do they want to be a part of what you're doing because of how it's going to benefit them? These people who want to be a part of your company because it's going to benefit them, they're not all bad. They make great affiliates and they can make great advocates, but you don't necessarily want them going out and speaking in an official capacity for you. You want them sharing about you and promoting, but you don't want them in any official capacity because there's a little bit of self-interest in there. So you want to make sure you know what their interest is before you kind of decide how you're going to utilize that relationship for your business. Test their knowledge. What do they know about you? How much do they know about you? Do they know your core values? Your mentors should know about your company mission. They should know about what you do. They should know more about how you make your money. They should know, like I said, mission and core values. It's really important that those people know what you're about. An affiliate, they don't need to know as much, but it's important that they know what you do. A champion absolutely should know more about your business. You want to make sure that your team members know a lot about what you do. So gauge their interest, test their knowledge. Again, learning and asking more about what they do. Gauge motive is the last one. Why? What's the why? Why do they want to be involved, and why do you want them to be involved? Do you need someone to advise you? Is that why you want them to be a part of it? They would make a great mentor. Do you just want people to share about your company? We all want people just to share about our company, but that doesn't mean that they're going to make great partners. So you need to figure out what the motive is, what their intent is, what is your intent within the relationship, and why do you really need this person? And that's going to help determine what category they're in and what they need. So the next phase is asking yourself which ones you need. So a great part of this exercise is to actually take out a piece of paper, put each of the 6 categories on it, and start writing in people as you think of them. I want you to have that just to the side as we're talking through this, because it'll be helpful for you to know who automatically comes to the forefront of your mind as someone in those categories. But to figure out which ones you need to do a little self-evaluation, a little business evaluation. What stage of business are you in? Is it day 1? Is it day 301? Because you're going to need different things in your first year as a company than you need in year 10. And the intentionality behind relationships is really important, especially if you're a brand new organization. If you're going to have people going out and sharing about you, you want to make sure that they're sharing the message that you want people to hear, because you don't have years of background and experience with your consumer for them to be a little bit more forgiving if one of your advocates says something that's not completely true. You want to make sure that this is your first engagement with the public, you have people speaking for you and on your behalf that are going to represent the organization well. Now, if you've been in business for 10 years, your mission is really established, your brand is really established, your persona should be really established. It's going to be a lot easier for you to figure out who you need, but also how to position them and use them. So it's really important, again, that you're asking yourselves these questions. What do you in the business need? Do you need more customers? Do you just need brand awareness? Do you need more social followers? What is it that you need? If you need more customers, then you want people sharing within their networks. For us, so for example, for Wise, we work with small business owners. So sharing on all of social media isn't necessarily going to be helpful for us in client acquisition. It's going to be more helpful for us to have maybe a champion or a mentor go to a networking event and share with us, or give us a direct referral to somebody in their network. That's how we're gonna get clients. So you need to think about what your business needs. If you need more followers, then affiliates and advocates are gonna be great for you. They're gonna share about the mission. Who do you already have? So this is where it's important to have that sheet of paper out and think about who's already on your bench. Who do you have? What categories do you need more people in? Because you don't want to overload. It can be really easy as an organization to get yourself a whole bunch of advocates and a bunch of champions, but you don't have any partners. You don't have real team members. You don't have any mentors who are supporting you and helping you grow your business. So it's important that you are looking in the areas where you need growth. So how much time do you have to nurture these relationships? This is super important. You've figured out what you need. We're going to talk about where you find them in a second, but before you go searching for them, you need to figure out how much time you have, and you need to be really honest with yourself. Again, this is where stage of business is really important, because when you're first starting out your business, you actually might have more time for relationships than you do when you have a team and staff of 100 and you're a lot busier. So you need to consider how much time you have to nurture these relationships, because relationships like partners, team members, mentors, they require a lot of nurture. They require your time. They require you to invest in them as much as they are investing in you. So it's really important to consider how much time you have. You don't want to go out there and ask someone to be your mentor when you don't actually have time to meet with them. That's a surefire way to lose a mentor. When you ask someone to start meeting with you on a monthly basis and they've cleared their entire calendar to spend time with you, and you cancel or you're late or you don't show up because you don't have time. So the time is really important, especially honestly with all of these categories. Even if they're just an affiliate that you're paying and you're giving stuff to, if you don't have ample time to educate them and to share resources with them, to share, your style guide, your brand imagery, they're gonna go off sharing about your company in a way that you don't want. So you wanna make sure that you have time to invest in all of these relationships. And again, ask yourself, how much time do I have? And if you need to break it down weekly, how much time do I have weekly to invest into new relationships? Relationships take time to cultivate. It's very rare that you meet someone today that will immediately start supporting your business tomorrow. You might have those people who are champions for you that'll advocate a little bit for you, but they're not going to be die hard and share your mission long term unless they get connected with you. So next one is where to find the ones you need. I know you're all asking that question. You're like, oh man, I really could use a mentor right now. We really need some partner organizations as we launch this next project. Yes, where do you find them? It's important. So where do you find them? You find them at different places depending on what your business is. So first you need to consider what type of person you're looking for. If you are looking for an educated businessman or woman, they've been in business several years, they are connected maybe within the marketing community, they're not going to be hanging out on Facebook. That's not where you're gonna find them. You're probably gonna find them at a networking event. What type of networking event? Well, what causes did they care about? What associations are they a part of? You need to start thinking about those things in order to determine where they're gonna be. We all wish in the 21st century that everyone was on social media all the time, but it's just not true. Some of these deeper relationships, you gotta make sure that you're looking beyond that, looking into networking events, looking into your community to figure out where they're gonna be. So check out LinkedIn, look who they're connected with, look at what associations they're a part of, where are they gonna be? It sounds a little like stalking, I like to call it investigating, but you gotta figure out where can you find them? Who are they connected with? Where are they gonna be? Do you have any mutual friends? You gotta figure out your way to get connected with them. And most likely that's gonna be by running into them somewhere or getting an introduction. Maybe Stacy knows them and you can say, hey Stacy, I really enjoyed the class at CI for SI last week. I saw you know Steve. Would you mind making an introduction? A personal introduction is always the best way to get connected with someone. So seek out first people who know the people that you want to be connected with and ask if they'll make that introduction for you. Another way to do it is by introducing yourself. It's really important, again, this is kind of a lost act, but on LinkedIn, making sure that you're introducing yourself to people when you send friend requests. Don't just send a random request to someone. Say, I saw that you really like organizations that are involved with blank. I'd love to get connected with you and share a little bit more about what we do over here. Ask them about them. You want to make sure that you're making it worthwhile for both parties. So seeking them out, going to networking events where they are, going to the social media channel where you know they're going to be. Younger people tend to be on Instagram. More seasoned professionals tend to be on LinkedIn. So make sure you think about where they're going to be located. So along with figuring out what social media platform they're on or what event they're going to be going to or who you know that knows them, you want to make sure, again, that you're thinking about places that you're going to interact with. Don't pick someone who's going to be at this crazy conference that you can't get to. Be thinking about people that are within your reach, within your network. It's always great to have that dream person on your list. Like, I would love to get connected with Gary Vee. I would love to be connected with him and where he's going. It's great to have that dream person, and that could absolutely happen, but that shouldn't be where you put your energy first. You should be thinking about people who are within your network, whether locally or even within your close virtual network first, to establish these relationships. And then once you're more established in your business and you have a lot of people within these different categories, you already have 1 to 2 people within these categories, then start spending your time going after some of these dream people. So make sure that you're also considering that when you're looking at where to find people. It's actually places that you can go, your friends can go. They're places where you're going to interact with these people. So once you figure out where where they are, you need to figure out how you're going to communicate with them once you see them. What are you going to say once you get face to face with that potential partner? And you've probably gone over this a little bit in some of your previous classes with Jonathan about talking about your why, but I think it's really important to talk about it in this context, specifically when you are going to be asking someone if they would like to be a part of what you're doing. You have to know your business. That is the first step to everything. You should know your business better than anyone, especially better than the person you're talking to. And you need to be able to share with them more than just what they can read on your website. So this is about knowing your elevator speech, making it personal, making sure it relates. You want to make sure you're not just feeding them a tagline. So you need to know your business. You need to know your numbers. More importantly, especially if you're going to be asking someone to partner with you on a project, or even if you're asking someone to become an affiliate, if you don't know what percentage you can give them, what product you can give them, you're going to ruin it in the first 5 seconds of the conversation. So make sure you know your numbers, know your tagline, know buzzwords about your organizations and key phrases, especially when you're talking to people about your social impact. You need to know numbers specifically around social impact. You heard me earlier talking about 26% of military spouses are unemployed. That's an important statistic to what I do because it validates that military spouses need careers. So you want to make sure that you know those numbers for yourself. You also need to know the numbers for your internal organization. Where have you been on profit? Where have you been on impact? How can people measure your impact? So for us, that looks like, we have brought on 70 plus military spouses to our team over the last 3.5 years. Knowing that data is going to be important in these conversations. Practice it for sure. Know your audience. Who are you talking to? Do they like sports? Do they not like sports? Are they a numbers person? If you were trying to talk to a finance person about becoming a mentor for you, you're going to really need to know your numbers in that conversation. Versus if you're talking to someone like me, maybe I'm just really clearly passionate about military spouse entrepreneurialism. So if you're going to talk to me and you can connect what you're doing back to what I'm doing, that's going to be a key to that conversation. So make sure in your investigation of these people, you're figuring out who they are and what they like to do. Do you have a sports team in common that you like? Did they go to the same university as you or someone you know? Does their organization contribute to another organization in a way that makes sense for you? Make sure that you know your audience well. You do not want to go into a conversation and insult someone by just not knowing enough about them. So it's really important that you're researching. It also shows that you value them and you value the time. And it takes the pressure off, because how many of us have been at that networking event where we want to connect with someone and we finally get the opportunity, but we have no idea what to say. We don't know what to ask for. So that's why knowing these things ahead of time is important, so that you're prepared. You have your little elevator speech prepared. You know a little bit about the person that you're talking to, so you can have a meaningful conversation in whatever amount of time that you're given. And so you also want to make sure that whatever you're preparing, whatever you're learning about, can be shortened or lengthened based on the amount of time that you have to interact with that person. It's also important to have a goal in mind. This kind of goes back a little bit to where they find them, where you can find them. But I want to let those of you who are out there who are introverts and are really overwhelmed, I'll just let you in a little secret. Extroverts also get really overwhelmed in social settings. Make sure that you're setting attainable goals for yourself when you're going into these networking situations, conferences, local meetups. Don't go in there expecting to talk to everybody. That's why this knowing your audience piece is so important. Pick the 2 or 3 key people that you need to connect with and make that your mission while you're at the event. Once you've connected with those 2 or 3 people, you're released. You can go home. You don't have to stay the whole time. So it gives you your time back. It gives you a strategy. It also gives you a way to know if that event was actually successful for you. Did you get an opportunity to connect with them, or did you not? So that's just a little tidbit about knowing where you're going to be, not only knowing your audience of the person, but knowing the audience of the event that you're at. The power of storytelling. Storytelling is so important. You're going to win someone over to your cause or mission more often by a story than you are by facts and figures, unless they're that finance person. They're going to want those facts and figures. But make sure you're telling your impact in a way that excites people. So for me, when I talk about what we do, I make sure I tell the story about the military spouse on our team that took 3 pay cuts in 4 years as a military spouse, and how that person was unable to maintain their career as they moved around the world following their service member. That's my story. It's a really impactful story. So you want to make sure that when you're talking to people that you know about them, you know what part of your story is going to be exciting for them. So if you build homes, or if you feed the homeless, or if you provide clothing, make sure that you share a story that is going to be relevant to the conversation you're having with the person, but that's going to be an example of your business. So make sure that you have those stories ready in your pocket. Make sure you can pull one out of your back pocket, not the same story every time, because you may have a few people that you've already talked to before, but have a couple different stories that you can pull out depending on where the conversation is going, so you can share about your business. We talked about your pitch, your elevator speech, whatever you want to call it. It's important. Make sure you know your ask. Never go into a conversation with someone that's an intentional conversation when you don't know what the ask is. And you want to make sure that your ask isn't like completely overwhelming and abrasive. So if you want someone to be your mentor, you're not going to kick off with, will you be my mentor, right off the beginning. Maybe you want to kick off with, hey, would you mind grabbing coffee, next month? And you set up the conversation for that greater conversation. Or would you mind being my 15-minute mentor? Would you mind if I just called you once a quarter to ask you some advice? Make sure that you gauge the question that you're asking, and that it's, it's relevant, again, to the conversation. Practice. Even if you're a really eloquent person and really great at being in public, you want to make sure that you're practicing what you're saying. Practice it on your friends. Ask them, hey, does this make sense? If I told you this story, does it move you, or does it bore you to tears? Make sure that you're interacting with people and you're practicing not only in your mirror, but you're practicing with people within your community, your friends, that can kind of test and gauge if this conversation, if that story, if those numbers, if they're working for you. How to ask. This is just as important as knowing what to say. How do you ask someone to be a champion for your business? How do you ask them? Well, first of all, I feel like it should always be done in person, on the phone, or in a video conference. It is so much more impactful when you have a direct conversation with someone, when they can hear your voice, they can hear the empathy in your voice, they can hear the passion about what you're doing. It's going to be so much greater if you can do this conversation in person. And I know that's a foreign concept for a lot of us who are in a younger generation. You want to send an email, you want to hide behind your text screen, but having that conversation in person is going to mean so much more to the person on the other side. So make sure that it's phone, they can see your face, or it's an actual face-to-face conversation. That's always going to be choice number one. Have it face-to-face if you can. How to ask, we talked about this earlier, through a connection. Have someone introduce them. And so you want to make sure that, again, you're asking for those introductions. Hey, it would really mean a lot to me if you could connect me with Steve. And the biggest thing to remember is to be confident. You love what you do. You believe in what you do. So be confident when you share it with others. Be specific in your ask with your numbers. Be direct in what you're telling this person. You don't want them to leave the conversation wondering, what the heck was it that Laura wanted? So be specific. Don't waste people's time. You don't want your time wasted. I don't want my time wasted. So that's why that research, knowing your audience, knowing where to find them is so important. Don't waste people's time. And the biggest thing that I want to remind you of, and I want you to take away from this today, is that people have the power to say no to you. So don't be afraid to ask them for what you need, because they can always say no. And if you don't give them the opportunity to say no, you'll never know if they would say yes. So make sure that you don't put so much pressure on yourself that stops you and prevents you from asking people. People have the power to say no. If they don't want to be a part of what you're doing, they have the responsibility to tell you that. So make sure that you're out there asking people. You're going to get some no's. They say it takes 10 no's to get a yes. So for some of these areas within your business, it's going to take some no's. For some of them, it's going to take you saying no to some people, like with team members and advocates, affiliates. There's probably going to be some people that you have to say no to that don't align with your business. So you want to make sure that that you're giving people the power to say no to you as well. So connect with people, make sure you're asking, be direct with your ask, and just go out there and figure out who you're going to talk to. Make sure you research where they're going to be, how you're going to ask them for what you need, and you do a little research about who they are. So if you have any questions, you can connect with me. CI4SI has my information. So if you have any questions, you want to ask them to me directly, I'd love for you to connect with me. You can connect with the company at Wise Advise Team. And our website is www.wiseadviseteam.com. You can also connect with me on social as well at Laura Early. I would love to connect with you, learn more about your business, and answer any questions you have. Thanks for watching this. I hope you'll continue in the course and continue to build great relationships for your business.